Cimarron Badboy Twins coming up next. 44 Magnum or 10 millimeter.
Welcome, range fans. Mr. Revolver Guy here with dayattherange.com.
Range fans, I'm back out here with a set of twins. Can you believe this? Cimarron Badboy and 44 Magnum, and also my favorite, the most popular millimeter, 10 millimeter. That's right, I know I'm gonna get a lot of 9 millimeter fans hating on me out there, but the 10 millimeter is on a resurgence. Guys, you can go over to dayattherange.com and review and see the review of the old 44 Magnum Cimarron made by Uberti. It is a beautiful, beautiful piece. I just got this one back from Cimarron, so yes, I did have something go wrong with the hammer and the floating firing pin in there. They fixed it for me and returned it very, very quickly. Then I have the old 10 millimeter. This one you guys haven't seen before, and we're gonna put it across the chronograph with some 44 Magnum from Sig Sauer, supposedly at 1,300 feet per second and 900 foot-pounds of energy. And then we've got some 220 grain buffalo bore and 10 millimeter that's clipping along at 1,200 feet per second at 700 foot-pounds. Which one would you rather have? I think they're both very, very versatile. Let's put them across the chronograph, put them on the target, and see how both performs today. Folks, I've got 6 rounds of the Sig Sauer Elite 44 Magnum ammunition. And I tell you what, I'm excited to get it across the chronograph. 240 grains, supposedly at 1,300 feet per second and 900 foot-pounds of energy. Again, what's your choice? 44 Magnum or 10 millimeter? Let's put these 44 mags across chronograph. Woo! Hitting hard. Ah, that's interesting. Man, this thing hits hard, but you see the old Cimarron performing flawlessly. Last one. Oh, well, maybe not. Guys, I tell you what, I'm delighted to have the old Cimarron Badboy 44 mag back in house. As I said earlier, you'll see, I think I got 3 or 4 videos out there on this bad boy to take you through all the specs. I think I'm gonna go back and get the accessory rail to put an optic on top. We might turn this thing into a hunting rig. What do you think? Let me know what you think. We're gonna move on to the Cimarron Badboy and 10 millimeter. Now we're moving on to that 10 millimeter Badboy. This is 10 millimeter out of an 8-inch barrel, folks, with 220 grain buffalo bore, supposedly moving along at a clip of about 1,200 feet per second, delivering about 700 pounds of energy. We're gonna see what an 8-inch barrel out of the Cimarron Badboy does on target across the chronograph and see what it does to the ballistics of the 10 millimeter. I have a feeling that it just might make this 10 millimeter buffalo wilder than what it already is, folks. The 10 millimeter Badboy, man, so versatile, so versatile. The only thing I have found, exception when you compare it to something like a Smith & Wesson 610, is you cannot fire 40 Smith & Wesson out of the Badboy. The reason you can't fire 40 Smith & Wesson out of the Badboy is because 10 millimeter is a semi-auto round and fires, or headspaces, shall I say, on the rim of the case. Therefore, when you put a 40 Smith & Wesson in this Badboy, the 40 Smith & Wesson falls just about all the way through. But that's okay, because you know what? This can be a hunting rig, self-protection rig. There's all types of 10 millimeter out there loaded from mild to wild. And I happen to have one of these wild buffalo bores loaded up in here now. Let's put it across the chronograph. Let's see. Here we go, folks. 10 millimeter buffalo bore, 220 grain out of the Cimarron Bad Boy. It is tamer than the 44 mag, of course. Shoots pretty good. It's 3. It's 4. Maybe not as accurate out of the old 10 millimeter Bad Boy. Or shall I say, maybe I'm not as accurate with it. And we'll do the last handhold. Cowboy style. Woo! Way up high. I tell you what, a lot of fun, folks, a lot of fun. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer the old 10 millimeter Bad Boy or the 44 Magnum Bad Boy? The 44 Magnum definitely proves to be more versatile, as you can shoot 44 mag and also 44 special out of the Cimarron Bad Boy. But you've seen the velocity numbers. You probably can't make a decision, right? There's so much information out there with the interweb and the internet nowadays that makes it hard to make a decision. Well, I'm not done yet. I'm going to try to help you make a decision. But before I get there, we're going to put some of my own hand loads across the chronograph of 44 Magnum and also out of the 10 millimeter to see how it performs, or see how both performs. And then, of course, at the end of the video, stay tuned, folks, something a little special. By the way, thanks to Big E for these Freedom Pills, Ford Blue, that's going to be next up out of the 10 millimeter and also the 44 Magnum. Big E over at the Reloaders Network. Thanks, partner. Whoo, man, I'm just giddy like a little kid. This Cimarron Bad Boy and 10 millimeter, it'll do that to you. And we're sticking with it, folks. We've got some of that 10 millimeter, my own hand loads, 190 grain, loaded on top of power pistol. And we're going to see how it does across the chronograph and on the target. Let's see if my hand loads can do a little bit better than the buffalo bore. Haven't shot these before in revolver, so I'm not quite sure, but we're going to see, again, what 8 inches does to my hand loads. Let's rock them across the chronograph. Hopefully, hella accurate. Woo! I'm liking it, I'm liking it. Oh, that was low, way low. Did I jerk it? That bad? Right where I intended it for it to go. Yeah, I jerked that last one for sure. That one that's low, I jerked it. Luckily, I didn't shoot the chronograph. I think that's all 6. Yes, about 1,350 feet per second out of that 190 grain Big E Ford Blue from the Reloaders Network 10 millimeter. Now let's move on to that 44 Magnum Ford Blue in the Cimarron. Bad boy, fellas. Man, I'm just so giddy. Woo, this Ford Blue 44 Magnum, my own loads, loaded with 5744, accurate 5744. Not really a popular powder for 44 Magnum, but it's something I wanted to try. Work these loads up. Yes, I used the manual, folks, to work the loads up to make sure they were going to be safe. We're going to see what they look like across the chronograph and see if they can beat out the Sig Sauer Elite. I'm about, if you pace it off, I am at exactly 12 steps away from the chronograph. I would call it 12 yards. I'm about 6'4" in size, pretty long strides. I try to normalize it, about 12 yards. Let's put them on target, cross the chronograph. Little high and right. Man, that muzzle rise. That 57-44 really makes that muzzle jump. I'm not exaggerating either. It's just rising up. All right. Nice clover leaf down there with the old 44 Magnum. Folks, what all we came for, we know what's going to happen next. That's right. We are going to put my reloads, these hard cast 4 blue 10 millimeter and 44 Magnum, into some ballistics gel. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. Let's take a look. 190 grain in the 10 millimeter Cimarron Badboy. We're going to get my ears in and we're going to put it in the clear ballistics gelatin, folks, right here, right now. Let's put it in to this 10 millimeter versus 44 Magnum stuff and all that stuff that gets everybody's feathers so riled up. Nah, probably won't. Probably will bring about more questions than anything else. But you talk about fun and smooth shooting, you're going to want to need one of these 10 millimeter Cimarron Badboys. Woo! Dead shot. So did the clear ballistics gelatin hold it in or not? Not sure. I did see some dirt jump on the backstop. Let's go down and take a look. Cimarron Badboy, you saw the feet per second out of the 10 millimeter. Did it hold in the clear ballistics gelatin? Anybody want to take a guess, folks? Well, I can tell you right there, or at least show you right there, is the entrance hole. And it's skirted all the way down through 16 inches and also clearly out the back of a second 16-inch block down low there. Oh boy, tell you what, that 10 millimeter, care what nobody says, it'll get it done. Now, let's see what that 260 grain 44 Magnum will do. Will it go and traverse 32 inches of clear ballistics gelatin? This is one of those days I should have brought my impromptu box with the wood in it to try to capture that bullet. But I didn't, folks. And that I apologize for. But you can't be too sorry getting a view of that beauty right there. What does that say? Bad boy, bad boy. What you gonna do when 10 millimeters pointed at you? Woo! 44 Magnum up next. That 10 millimeter was wicked, was it not? Well, I'll tell you what. Let's see what this 260 grain Ford Blue cast by Big E over at the Reloaders Network. Let's see what it does in 32 inches of ballistics gelatin. Get these ears in, because this sucker snaps pretty good. Woo-hoo. You saw the chronograph results. You know the 44 Mag has a little less velocity than that 10 millimeter had. Will that make a difference? I don't know. Let's see. Oh my goodness. All kinds of dirt in the backstop. I can tell you right now, folks, we're going to go down and take a look at it, but I know it went through 32 inches of ballistics gel. Let's go take a look. the old 44 Magnum bad boy, 260 grain pill. I don't have much to show, fellas. Not much at all. That thing entered right there at the top of that block. And you can see that wound track right there. Man, look at that thing. I mean, no signs of slowing down. And there's that wound track on the second 32-inch block. I know one thing, 10 millimeter or 44 Magnum and the Cimarron Bad Boy, that 8-inch barrel. Woo, what a platform. Very utilitarian-like. Can be used for self-defense in the home, home defense, backwoods country defense. Cimarron Bad Boy. Check it out over at dayattherange.com to see the detailed review of the Cimarron Bad Boy. Twins, folks. Didn't I tell you I was going to end the caliber wars today? That's right. I told you. Stop fussing and fighting over 10 millimeter versus 44 mag. Now you got an excuse to have both. And if you ever desire to have replicas, true Colt replicas, go to Cimarron and get the 10 millimeter 44 Magnum Bad Boy series. Cimarron Bad Boy, true Colt replicas with modern features and 10 millimeter and 44 Magnum. Woo! I'm loving it.